Hey, chums, welcome back to a Game with Chums podcast. I'm your host once more, the glorious, the wonderful, the enigmatic, the mysterious Paul. Paulie C, Paulie B, Paulie G, Paulie. I like that guy, and he's a nice laugh. Paulie, first round's on you. And yeah, that's me. I am Paul, and looking befuddled and slightly confused is my ever glorious assistant stroke co-host, the ever happy and adventurous Mr. Ross. How the fuck are you? I mean, whoops, how the devil are you?
Jesus.
I don't want to swear first in the
This
first
is
minute
supposed to be a family show.
of the first minute. If we were monetized, this will get demonetized. But yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right. Tired, but otherwise all right.
Uh,
That's all I got.
all right, fuck me. All right, cool. What you
There
been
you
up
go
to, man?
again.
What you been what you been up to?
Working mainly, but also what I've been doing. I'm trying to clear the decks because Starfield is coming out soon.
Really? I didn't know that. I
So I've been trying to finish off Trails from Zero on PC and Jedi Survivor, which I've still playing because I barely get any time to play my Xbox these days. Because I get in from work and I just don't want to lock myself in my room where my Xbox is, so I just haven't really been playing it. So I actually bought a portable monitor a couple of weeks ago for like 130 quid. It's like a 15-inch screen basically that you
Mm.
can plug stuff into via USB or HDMI. So I've been using that to play my Xbox in the main room, and while everyone else is watching TV, so as not to disturb anyone. And it's really good. I'm really happy with it. Finally, actually making some progress on Jedi Survivor. I just did a big bit that is a big spoiler, probably that everyone probably already knows. Um, in context, it's probably not a massive spoiler because it's a Star Wars game, but yeah. So I just did that. Apparently, I'm like 80% of the way through. So hopefully, I'll finish that this week. I'm in the last chapter on Trails from Zero as well. So once those are done, I'm not starting anything new until Starfield because I should hopefully be getting it on the early access launch, which is like the 1st of September, which I think is Friday after next. So I'm not starting anything until that comes out, and then I'm just going all into Starfield. I'm going to spend like 9 hours in the character creation menu, 500 hours building a ship, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be great. Also, I
Mm.
did finish my rewatch of Jujutsu Kaisen season one, and then I finally got around to watching Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, which was okay, and I'm caught up with season two at the moment, which is also okay.
Just
And that's
okay.
it.
Yeah, just okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
It's fine.
No.
It's
Okay.
pretty okay.
All right. Cool.
Not as good as season one yet, but it's only like 5 episodes in.
Excellent.
What
All
have
right.
you been doing?
Thank you. I was waiting for the prompt. I have not been as productive as you. I played more of Dragon Age Inquisition, not Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age Inquisition um on our Twitch channel. I've completed the main story. This sort of ties into our main topic, but I left out a lot of things. When I first done a playthrough, I try to do everything, every possible thing you can do in each region. I try to do it, but I left out so much. And then I completed the game, and now I'm sort of doing the DLC because I never played the DLC. I only played the dungeon crawl one, the when you go into the deep roads. That's the only
Yeah,
one I played, and I didn't really like that because it's just a dungeon crawl. So I've left
it
that
is the
one out.
weakest of the three.
So I'm doing Jaws of
Hakon.
Hakon. I'm doing that. That's pretty good. I
Mm,
quite like that one. You get to explore a new region and meet the indigenous population of Ferelden,
and kill them.
and kill them a lot. They seem to be a play on the Celts and the wildlings of Game of Thrones, but they're not behind a big wall. They're just sort of in the mountains in the south. Instead of the north, it's the south. So yeah, but doing that, so that's what I've been playing. But like you said, mate, I'm just getting ready for Starfield. I've tried not to start anything new. I have a huge back catalogue of video games, which I'm probably never going to finish unless I like can retire early and just spend, or this channel kicks off and then we just becomes our main job. That's the only time.
God, that'd be
But
nice.
that would be nice, be your own boss. But I don't know, like that will happen. This is just more of a side gig for us. We just enjoy it, and we. Speaking of which, we recently went to the London Anime and Gaming Con, which was held in Hammersmith, West London, in a hotel. What's the hotel called? Novaria?
Novotel West.
No hotel. Well, nice hotel.
It
Wouldn't
was
mind
nice. It's
spending.
enormous, that hotel.
It's huge,
It's
huge
absolutely
hotel.
huge.
Yeah, and we actually got recognized by our two fans that we've come across, and that was very heartfelt. And if you guys are listening to this or watching this, can't remember your names because we were all quite a bit
Slightly
drunk.
merry, let's say.
All of us were. So yeah, apologies for that, but it was nice to meet you guys, and thanks for the words, the kind words.
It was cool and also a little bit strange. It's never
Very
been
strange.
recognized anywhere before.
Never. I got recognized first, and then I told Roars, and then they recognized. They came up. We spoke to them. Spoke to them quite a bit because we were at the after show party, which I have to say was shit.
Language
It
again, Paul. We're never going to
it
get
was
monetized at this rate.
it
But yeah, it
was
sucked.
it wasn't good.
It was
I've
like
got
a
to
school
admit,
disco with a bar. It wasn't great.
it was not good. Being we got into it at the end. We were at the dance floor just messing around, trying to request a song. They don't do song requests. What kind of DJ doesn't do song requests?
That kind
You
of
want it
DJ.
that's the worst kind of everywhere I've been to, like nightclubs and bars and stuff. The DJ, if they want, they don't have to, but they normally do a song request because it's good interaction. You feel good. It's good for the crowd and everything, man. As long as they got the song, I don't see why they can't play it. And they just said no song because I was just like, well, this is absolute shit. Then shit already, and it's gotten shittier. But
It was,
yeah,
like I said, it was like a school disco because it was at the main stage area downstairs where they have most of the spaces. Like there's
it's like
stalls like around the
conference
outside.
hall, isn't it? Conference
Yeah.
hall, I think.
And then they have all seating in the middle for like for the various events like the cosplay masquerade and everything. And they just moved all the chairs into a line around the outside of the hall. And I just looked at it and like, it's like a school disco. It's like I've gone back in time 20 years.
It's like the security was on one of them took one of the security guys took his job very seriously, man. Very serious. He lived that was his one moment to shine, and he took that job extremely. I've never been searched so thoroughly before.
To be fair, it
Ever.
was a good thing that they were searching people, but it was very thorough.
It was
I
very
just got patted down. I had a bag on me. They didn't even look at it because I got a different guy. He just
uh
patted me down and went, "Yeah, go on." All
that
got like anally probed and everything.
exactly. I did, and it hurt. Um yeah, so that happened. So that was good. But other than that, it's been a quiet one, man. Like the preload for Starfield is now live. It's been live for like a couple of days. It's a big boy, 135 gig. So
Well,
make
there's
sure
a
you got some
thousand
space.
planets, Paul.
Mm,
Planets take up space.
you gotta make sure you got enough space on your PC or your Xbox. So it's gonna take a. I should have. I'm fine. So I've got a extra storage SSD. That's good. That's come in handy. But yeah, man, I'm like, I mean, if Starfield and Baldur's Gate didn't come out at a similar time, I'd probably be playing Baldur's Gate on PC. But I just can't really like get into a game knowing that I'm gonna drop that, and then play Starfield.
Mm.
So yeah, that's good. Speaking of Baldur's Gate, it's been reviewed really well. It's probably the best reviewed PC game ever, I think. 96 on Metacritic at the moment. I think
But
it's
it's got to
starting.
be up there. It's
I
reviewed
think it's one.
extremely well.
I think it's one of the top reviewed games on PC. Anyway, like I don't know since
Half-Life Alex, maybe. I don't
Half-Life,
even know.
yeah.
I don't actually even know how that reviewed. I was doing a playthrough of Half-Life Alex for the channel, and I got like halfway through it, and it was so much effort,
Yeah.
so much effort recording VR stuff. So I never actually finished it. But it was extremely good. So yeah, it must have reviewed well. But I reckon this is probably like the biggest PC exclusive since then.
I mean, it's coming to console. It'll be coming to PS5 in September. The Xbox version is not going to come until next year, or even that's an estimate.
Mm.
Which is a shame because like I feel like people on Xbox are going to miss out for a while. It's not even it's a PlayStation. It's an exclusive. What's it?
Half-Life Alex got a 93. That's kind of hard to
So
see, but
it's reviewed better than Baldur's Gate 3 is reviewed better. I mean,
mm,
I do want to play it because it's you know I do like an Dungeon and Dragons inspired world, and BioWare, my once favorite developers, worked on Baldur's Gate 2
one and
and
two.
1 and 2 and Winter's Night,
Mm.
which is it's good pedigree. So I do like a good BioWare game, and obviously BioWare have been sort of floundering in the last few years. They did well with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but that was just a remaster. But yeah, so I do want to play it, but I can't start a 100+ game knowing I've got Starfield, which is going to take up most of my time, my free time.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I've been keeping an eye on the reviews and stuff, and like a few people I know are playing it. They're all raving about it, and I'm like, I would really like to play it, but I've been waiting like 5 years for Starfield since it was first announced. There's nothing's getting in the way of that. Baldur's Gate will still be there when I finish Starfield in 3 years.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think Stuff is gonna be one of those games where I just don't complete the main story and I just like I did in Skyrim, just faff about in the world, like which is good. That's what everyone loves Skyrim for, just sort of the freedom
Mm.
to just do whatever you want to do. And it's going to be very similar to Starfield. You can also buy, like you could in Skyrim, you can buy apartments, buildings, and stuff. So that in like the city, so that'd be good. You have your little home base there,
You
chill
can
out.
build them as well, like you could in Fallout 4. Build your own outposts on planets and
Oh,
stuff.
that's I was absolutely shit at that on.
I was
I,
terrible at that in Fallout 4, but it looks a lot
mine
more
just
intuitive in Starfield.
mine just looked like a shitty
A
shelter,
shack,
a shack. Yeah, I was like, how are these people making these bloody like wonderful
palaces.
palaces with running water and everything, and I'm just got this little tin shack. It's like all with a bed in there. I was just like, oh, I suppose that'll do. Somewhere to rest my weary head. But yeah, man. Anything in the world of gaming apart from Baldur's Gate that's been
Well, we're 2 days out from Gamescom, so that's going to be a thing.
yeah.
I think Jeff Keighley's doing the keynote thing on the opening live thing he does
Yeah.
on the 22nd. It sucks that it's on a Tuesday evening. I don't understand why they're doing it on a Tuesday. That's
Well,
where we are.
at least it's in Germany, so the time difference is not going to be that big.
Yeah, it kind of
And
sucks when they do stuff like, I remember back in the days of Sony's E3 and it'd start at like 2 a.m.
well,
That was bad time.
Sony won't be at Gamescom. They won't have a presence there. I think. Don't think
Are
they're
they
going to be
not?
there.
Hmm.
No. Oh, I think they said that they're not going to be there. They've got nothing to show anyway, to be honest. I mean,
Supposedly
everyone.
Xbox is going to turn up in a big way. But
Well, they would, wouldn't they? Because they got Starfield coming out, and they just want to sort of ride that hype train that they created for themselves with their recent showcase. So they want to sort of keep that momentum going. So I suppose they're going to be there in a big way.
mm,
Yeah, but what was I talking about before?
yeah, Jeff Keighley has
Uh,
said
forgot.
um, it'll be less about Open Night Live is less about announcing new projects and focus more on updates to some of the biggest games due over the next year. So maybe don't expect any like megaton announcements or anything. Alan Wake 2 is going to be there apparently, so I'm up for that. I love me some Alan Wake. Very excited for Alan Wake 2. I don't know what I'm going to do when that comes out, and I'm still 10% of the way through Starfield. That's going to
Yeah.
be difficult.
Well, that's Alan Wake would be more of a linear story, so you sort of can get through that in a few hours, about 15, 18 hours.
Depends. Yeah, I mean, the first one was like 10, 12 hours, I think. It feels like they're going bigger with this one, but I doubt it's going to be like a 30-hour game or anything.
I doubt that as well. I think it'll be a tight, cohesive story. They didn't haven't spoken about open world or any of that sort of shit. It should just be sort of more of a focused, sort of tightly knitted story.
It looks very good, though. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay.
Love me some Control. It's one thing I was always a bit sad about when Microsoft started on their acquisition spree, that they didn't do it a little sooner and snap up Remedy, because I love Remedy. It'd be great to see them with like that kind of resource behind them.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, that the big arms race. I was really like when Microsoft started acquiring loads of studios, as they started off small and they started buying publishers, I was like, fuck, is this going to start an arms race between Sony and Microsoft about acquiring as many studios and publishers as you can? It hasn't happened so far.
Well, acquisitions have picked up, but it just hasn't been like publisher stuff really outside of Microsoft. Sony have bought a lot of studios over the last like 5-6 years.
Yeah, little small ones here and there. They've closed down
and then Bungie.
Yeah,
but then
Bungie.
like you've got Embracer they've got like over 100 studios, and now they're going to start closing some down, which is just stupid.
Well, that was a weird one. They just started buying all these studios, in it, and then
like, all loads of small studios as well. And they have some bigger studios, but they're not like huge studios like a Naughty Dog or a Rockstar or something.
Take-Two.
They've got like, I think their biggest one is Gearbox. Oh, and obviously they bought Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics recently. It'll suck if they close those down, but yeah, apparently they're trying to trim down now. So that's going to be a mess. But yeah, the big acquisition still hasn't happened yet.
Well, there was talk about like Sony buying Square Enix, but with the deal now of Microsoft that they've with the new CEO, don't think that will happen.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be a weird thing to come on stage and announce if they were in the process of being acquired.
Yeah, and it's made a lot of people upset. That Microsoft to sort of patch things up with Square Enix.
I don't know how much you know about Japanese culture. Square Enix just shot themselves in the foot. But yeah, maybe if Xbox are turning up we know they're turning up at Gamescom, but it'd be nice if they have some announcements and maybe some like Square Enix stuff to announce there. That'd be cool. Not saying it's going to happen, but it'd be nice if they did. And then if nothing happens there, maybe TGS might be a decent shout for more announcements.
TGS is Tokyo's game show, right?
Yeah, which is in September sometime, like mid-September, I think. So that could be an avenue to announce stuff. But
I mean, it would be nice if they released the Final Fantasy remake on the Xbox. Just for people, I played it already on PlayStation. You didn't. Well, you played it and you made your feelings quite clear about you didn't really like it. But yeah, it would be nice for them to finally announce the remake being released on Xbox. But don't know. I mean, everyone seems to have forgotten about Final Fantasy 16. No one talks about it anymore because of the huge roaring success of Baldur's Gate.
It did kind of seem like it came and went because of Baldur's Gate.
It just sort of like it's just got sort of buried under all the praise and hype that Baldur's Gate 3 has rightly achieved. I've watched a few videos here and there, not too much because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but it does look like something I would really enjoy. I do like the dice rolling aspect of it and the narration because you got a DM sort of narrating the whole the game. So that's a new take on it, and I really find that interesting. And style of everything, it's very well, obviously very D&D, but I do like that. And yeah, it's sort of was this a surprise hit? Do you reckon? Do you reckon it was like people
I
was
think
expecting it to be as good as it is?
well, it was in early access for 3 years, and people that the sort of relative handful of people that were playing it. Well, I say relatively handful. I think there was like they had like 2 odd million sales in early access, but it was in early access for like 3 years, I think, and people that played it were saying like this is going to be big. But it does seem like the success of it has kind of caught everyone by surprise, quite to the degree of it. And there is also a degree of console warriors pumping it up as well, despite the fact they can't even play it at the moment. Now, I don't want to make it sound like it doesn't deserve the plaudits it's getting. It absolutely does, given the reviews it's getting. There are a lot of PlayStation fans kind of throwing their weight behind the game at the moment for obvious reasons, which is stupid because you can't even play it on console. But
Yes, dumb. Yeah, like saying that oh, it's a PlayStation exclusive, and like even the developer on X or whatever the fuck hell you call it now
let's
has
just
come
keep
out and like
calling it Twitter.
it says no, it's not a console exclusive. It's just not. It's sort of like certain PlayStation fans are sort of sort of night white light sort of like holding this on the pedestal, and it has nothing to do with a Sony or anything. It's a multi-platform game, but I just think it's some of it's just like because of they're not getting Starfield's not coming to PlayStation, so they're sort of
It
backing this.
absolutely is that. It's just
Yeah,
a tit for tat stupid console wars crap. Whereas the best outcome is both games are amazing.
yeah,
And given some of the whispers that are coming out, like reviewers are playing Starfield now, and some of the sort of whispers that are coming out, despite everything being heavily NDA'd, it sounds like that's going to be the case. Both are going to be amazing games. That's
yeah.
the
I mean,
best outcome.
it's already gone gold on sales, so that's good. Considering it's coming out on Game Pass as well. That's a good thing. I mean, I'm gonna get a physical copy of it because I love the art style, the art, the cover of the standard edition. That looks really cool. I wouldn't mind getting that as a poster, man. That looks so cool.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll be getting. I can get it on play it on Game Pass, but I also like to have a physical copy of it. So yeah, can't wait for that, man. That's gonna be good. But talking about games, we're going to talking about games and the length and brevity of games. This is going to tie in nicely to our main topic, Mr. Ross, which is remind me what it is again. You come up with this
Which is, well, kind of the idea came to me because I've been
on while you're on the toilet,
reading.
right?
No, I've been
Oh,
following like Starfield chatter on forums and stuff, and just reminded
no.
me of. I mean, I do get ideas on the toilet, just not this one. But like people are talking about Starfield, and obviously it's a Bethesda game, and Bethesda games are huge, and people play them for hundreds of hours. And some people don't even finish the main quests, which is me. I've never finished a Bethesda game main quest, despite putting hundreds of hours into them. And it just made me think like how I play games is once I finish a story, that's it. I'm done. The game is done. And so the question is, when is a game done for you? Do you ever go back in after the credits roll? Do you just do everything you can before ending the story because you know you won't go back to it? Do you just keep picking it
Right.
up every now and then and dipping back in?
Okay. Yes and no. Uh, obviously it depends on the game, like you say. Bethesda game, I've never completed the main story for a Bethesda game. I
Has
just get too
anyone?
engrossed.
I
I just get
genuinely
too
wonder if anyone has at this point.
I just get too engrossed in what on the side content. I find the side content more interesting than the main story, especially on a game like Skyrim. I wasn't interested in like being the Dragonborn or like finding out what that meant or fighting the what was the main dragon, Darwin. What the hell was his name? I don't know.
I remember
Uh,
now. The only
I was
dragon
just
name I can remember was Parthenax, which is the one you speak to on the top of the mountain.
that was the friendly one, right?
Yeah. Oh, Alduin, that was what it was called. Alduin, the World Eater.
Yeah. Um. So I was always interested in doing like the assassins uh
Dark
storyline. Just
Brotherhood.
Dark Brotherhood was an amazing story, but it's even I like I said I recently finished the main story of Dragon Age Inquisition, and that was an open sort of worldish sort of Skyrim inspired game. And I never I didn't I when I first played it, I did everything pretty much. In this playthrough, I skipped so much. Even like what there's zones in there that you don't have to go to. There's nothing to do with the main story, and I opened them up just to have them open on the map. But I just sort of didn't do anything in them. I was like, well, I don't really need to do anything here. But it's good to have that. But if people want that, it's good to have it. But I found a lot of the stories on there, well, obviously you got like the fetch quests and stuff like that, and helping the like doing like remedial pointless like sort of quests. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to dip in and dip out of a game, like especially one that's not as sort of close ended as those sort of open world games. I know you could do that on Far Cry. I remember like the last Far Cry game I played was free, and then
Same.
I never played them again. So I never played any of
I
those
mean, they're
sort
all
of.
the same game, so you've
Mm.
played them all.
I mean, like we're currently doing a playthrough of Dragon Age of Halo Infinite, and that sort of has that open world sandbox sort of thing. And I completed the main story, but I haven't dipped back in it apart from doing the playthrough.
Mm.
But you can just carry on playing it, but I haven't, and that's not a fault on the game per se, but it's just sort of like I've done the story now. What else is there? Just keep fighting grunts and the enemies. There was nothing really. There's stuff to find there, but nothing that would sort of want me to go back in there and sort of find it. If that makes sense.
This is one that popped into my head when I thought of the topic because I was like, if there's loads of stuff to do in a game, I'll do what I feel like doing. But then as soon as the credits roll, that's it. I'm done. I completely lose any interest in playing the game anymore past that because I guess I get that sense of closure from it, and I'm like, all right, now it's time to move on. And even Halo Infinite, which I loved Halo Infinite's campaign, I really enjoyed the open world gameplay of it and just sort of running around and clambering up and grapple shotting up to like the highest points in the world to see if there was anything there and all that kind of stuff. And once the credits rolled on that, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I did go back in to do because I had like 4 or 5 high level targets. I went back in and got those. But I only did that because I made a video out of it for the channel. Like if I hadn't have been making a video, I probably would have just left them. And I think that's probably one of the reasons I've got like 500 hours on Skyrim as well, because I haven't finished the story. I feel like if I actually finished the story, I'd be like, yeah, Skyrim's done now. But the main draw of Bethesda's games for me is just the exploration. Like there's something about wandering around Skyrim and seeing what's over the next hill with like the aurora borealis in the sky and that music playing. It just is it's its whole own mood. Just exploring around in that game and seeing what you can stumble across, and that is more interesting to me than the main quest. I feel like I got fairly close to the end in Skyrim's one. I actually found an Elder Scroll. So you have to get an Elder Scroll to go back in time and defeat Parthenax in the past or something, as far as I can remember. And I got to that point and I just stopped. I wasn't like disliking it or anything, but it's just the wanderlust is too strong in those games. And I feel like I'm going to do the same in Starfield, even though I do actually want to know what the story is about. I feel like if I follow it too closely, I might end the game too quickly. Because as soon as the credits roll, that's it. I just lose interest in the game. I'm not sure quite why, but it's the same in every game. Like Dragon Age Inquisition, when I first played it, when it first came out, I did over the base game and all the DLC. I did like 250 hours in it. I did almost everything in that game. And part of it was because even in like the zones where there's nothing to do, you find little lore tidbits and they like tie into the novels and stuff. And I really like the novels. But if I'd have finished the story in that, I would have left probably 80% of the game untouched and just never gone back to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like with this DLC, obviously I'll dip back into it. I mean, I wasn't a big like person who liked downloading. I was kind of against DLC, but I've obviously like it's not going anywhere, and it adds to the game. You know, like the Mass Effect like 2 had great DLC. Obviously, they had the Lair of the Shadowbreaker,
Mm.
and even Arrival was fairly good. They had some good bangers in there, so that's when I
The Sumi mission
dipped
was
in.
pretty cool as well because it was so different.
I mean, yeah, it was good, but it ended up, shooting, bang, bang in the end. So I kind of would have liked it if it was just like at the dinner party, sort of breaking in. Then you didn't have to fight any enemies, but you still have to do that. I mean, it would have been good if it was just that, where Shepard had to use his charm and cunning. But the game's not built for that. It's built for shooty,
Mm.
bang, bang. You know,
I feel
just
like BioWare um, what I'm looking for, kind of return to that in Dragon Age Inquisition, where you go to Orlais and you
oh
have like the
yeah,
big dinner party thing in Orlais, where you
yeah.
can just kind of, instead of like going around killing people, you just having to talk to people and kind of figure out clues and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they still had combat sections in it when you were like certain when you go to certain areas, there were like enemies there, but it was very fair, few and far between, which I found was pretty good. But yes, dipping in and out of a game, yeah, I'm kind of the same. And so once I see the credits, I'm sort of done because maybe it's because like you want to move on to the next game, you want to like sort of clear your back catalog. But if I dip back into it, I always probably just start a new game plus or something like that. That's
Mm.
what I normally do. But games with, I think Trespasser is a definitive ending, isn't it? You can't go back into the world again. I think it
No, I think
ends.
it's all its own areas. And
Mm,
Trespasser is very good. Look forward to that. It's really good, especially if
mm,
you like all the like elven lore and stuff in Dragon Age. It's just blows all of that wide open. It's so good.
mm.
But yeah, it's all its own like bespoke areas. But yeah, like if new DLC comes out for a game I love, then I'll go back to it for that because it's more story content and it's like a continuation of the game. But I probably won't dig back into like stuff that I left undone at the end of the actual original campaign. But yeah, I've always been kind of pro DLC. A lot of it does suck, but there are some really good ones out there. And when you love a game and they give you some more of it, and it's good, I'm very appreciative of that.
I mean, I like the option that games now give you that you can just go back into the world. Now, obviously, like the older games, it's just like once the credit's gone, that's it, you're done. You can't go dipping in and complete missions you haven't, side content you didn't get to finish. It's very much a new thing, I think, a new sort of concept that where you can just sort of you finish the main story, but you can go back into the world and complete various little side missions and stuff like that. It's just a new thing, but like once a game ended back in the day, that was it. You were like, well, if you want to play it, you got to start from the beginning, sort of thing, or reload a save or something like that. I do like that option that you can have. Not in all games. Once I don't. Did The Witcher do that? Witcher 3? Were
You
you
know what?
able
I
to
can't remember
once you've
because
completed the main story, it was you could go back into the world?
it's a good question because obviously climactic things happen at the end of that game. So I do wonder. I bet there
It,
is. I bet it does put you in like a certain world state just before the end or something if you go back into it. Because a lot of games do that. If you complete the game, they'll put you back in a world state just before the final battle and stuff like that. So I wonder if
yeah,
it maybe does that.
I know
But
there's
yeah,
a
again, I completed the game and never went back to it. So
that was a good that was a great game.
it was.
Yeah, still is like still people still play it now. Still
I
play
keep
it.
meaning to replay it so I can do the DLC, but because I've never done the DLC in it, but it's a long game.
It's a long game, but it's one of those games where they sort of put a lot of thought into the side quests. So a lot of the side quests are really well done, really well
Mm.
animated. A lot of the cutscenes are really well done. Some of the side stories and monster hunts were a lot more, really, a lot more interested in sort of the main sort of narrative at that depending on what part of the world, the area you're in. Really well made. I was just like, damn, I'm just hunting a fucking monster here, and it's such a good story to it. But yeah, I don't think I completed The Witcher. Started it on my old Xbox One X and never actually got around to finish it because then the time I was playing that, the Series X came out, and I sort of just forgot about it and then started playing stuff on Series X. But yeah,
Well,
it's
the
one of
good
those.
news for you is that had a Series X update, so you can just carry on that, and it'll look a bit
Yeah,
nicer.
I know you don't play this type of game, but GTA is one of those games I like to dip back in and out. Once you complete the story, you can go back in and just carry on doing what you're finishing like little side. There's a lot to do in GTA, like especially the latest one, GTA 5, which came out in 2000, 2 generations ago, 2013. Came out on the 360, then it came out on the Xbox One, then it came out, it's like out on the Series X. It's like 3 generations, man. Like Rockstar take their
Uh,
goddamn time with games, man.
they've milked that game to high heaven.
Yeah, they only have a few like active IPs, and they milk those to hell, man. They're good though. I mean, they're
The
good.
amount of copies that GTA 5 has sold, I think it's like over 100 million at this point or something.
I think it's the best selling game of all time. I mean, I
No, I
might
don't think it's
maybe
beaten Minecraft yet.
Minecraft, but best sort of story game sort of thing. That's another one, Minecraft. I never got into Minecraft, but people love that game. And it's the one you can dip in and out with. Like it does have like an end sort of game. I think you fight the elder dragon or whatever it's called. That's sort of like the end, but you can just dip in and out. I think. I mean, I might be talking out my ass, but I'm pretty sure there is an end.
I imagine you could because like the whole thing is the building aspect and the big playground. But, yeah, I mean, I've only ever played like 20 minutes of Minecraft. I just didn't really get it.
That's because you're not with it, man. You're an old man, man.
I
You're not
used to
with
be
the
with it, and then
youth.
they changed what it was.
Yeah, you're just like a tired old man with tired face, tired balls. That's why we never get successful Raws on our YouTube channel because we're not with the current trends of like gaming. We never got into Fortnite. We never got into Minecraft, and they're like the biggest bloody games on the platform. You know, if you really want to get down with the kids,
I
you want to
don't.
be playing those. No, you just want to be sad and
Yeah, we tried Fortnite. We did a couple of videos. It was fine.
you you got to. It's more of those sort of games, not really a YouTube thing. It's more of a streaming thing, isn't it? Like those, especially those two. You wouldn't
Mm.
really make videos on them unless you're PewDiePie, and then people will watch it. But if you really want, it's more of a streaming like that and Apex and all, any sort of like competitive game, more of a streaming. Doesn't really transfer well over the video format. I don't think. Me personally. I'm probably just chatting shit. I'm a tired old man as well with my tired old Guinness. Just want to go to bed, man. You know when you start looking forward to sleeping. You know that's when you're fucking like getting old. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a nice kip tonight. Oh, can't wait to go to. So overall, do you dip in and out? Okay, well, you don't though. So you just answered your own bloody question in the first 20 minutes.
I did.
This whole conversation was rather pointless, then, wasn't it?
Well, another game I was thinking about because I'm playing Jedi Survivor at the moment, and I have actually ignored a lot of the side content this time. It's one thing I think is actually worse off in the sequel. The first one had like the levels were big. It had a reasonable amount of side stuff that I kind of just went and did everything, almost everything in that game before I went and did the final fight and finished it. In Jedi Survivor, the levels are so much bigger and there's so much stuff. You talk to people in the bar and you get a rumor, and then you've got to go and explore where the rumor is and find out what it's about. And you get like a moustache or something. I'm just like, I can't be bothered with all that. So I've got like 90% of the rumors I've just haven't even bothered going to look at. And I was just thinking the other day, like, oh, I want to get the game finished before Starfield comes out. Am I going to do all that side content? No, I'm just going to go and finish the story and then like, great, game's finished. Time for Starfield. And it seems a bit of a shame because I appreciate like developers feel they have to go bigger for a sequel. But sometimes more is too much. I feel like Jedi Survivor is one of those games where more is too much.
So you're the philosophy less is more on that particular game.
Well, sometimes it is, yeah. I mean, it's not a across the board generalization. Like a Bethesda game, more is more. You want those worlds to be packed full of stuff to stumble over, but I don't know, when you've got a very focused story like in Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, it feels a bit strange to keep going off the beaten path. I guess it's kind of like the old RPG kind of tug of war between, oh, the world is ending and we need to like go and save the world now, but also this person's lost their cat and we need to go and find their cat. And it's like, I want to do the side content, but it feels kind of weird in context.
Oh, I'll definitely do that quest.
Oh, you absolutely would, yeah.
Yeah, I love cats, man. Yeah,
See, this is why you liked Final Fantasy VII Remake more than I did, because of all the stupid cat. Go and find 5 cats crap in it.
I did actually make a video of that as well. I made a few videos of Final Fantasy VII of the certain sections, which is I didn't want to do obviously one to do the whole let's play of it, but certain sections I was like, yeah, I had to save for that, and I was like. And I was playing it. I was like, that would make a quirky, sort of interesting video, like sort of snippet. We didn't really do that back in the day. We sort of were 100% full let's players, which we're kind of not anymore. Not like we're branching out into new things, but I think the let's play sort of scene is sort of like a relic of the past. It's a shame. I think we were like about 5 years too late for that. Sort of crazy. That was like the thing in the early 2010s. That was huge, but since the rise of Twitch and streaming, it's sort of like a relic of the past. Not many people are really into that. I see ourselves turning into a vlog like channel. They seem to do better than our video things and a podcast channel. I mean, I always thought to myself, like, if this channel like sort of did reasonably well, that we would move. I was thinking move the podcast and create its own sort of channel. So it's like have that on its own sort of thing. But obviously, like we don't. We're not. This channel still grow. We're still trying to grow that. So I still can't really take away that. But if that ever happened, where people have multiple channels, they have one for their podcast, one for their. I'm thinking of moving all that onto its own thing. But that's just hypotheticals, man. I don't think that would happen. But if it did, by chance, I would I would like have its own separate sort of channel to sort of like focus on that, and then this channel will be more of the video games and stuff, and maybe vlogs. But who knows, man? But yeah, well, I don't really dip back in. The only games I dip back into are the ones where it's just got no story. It's just like I used to love like playing Apex Legends, so I can just dip into it. I don't have to worry about the mechanics or the story. I wouldn't be like lost or have to restart anything. It's just something I can just go in, bang bang, shoot, get out and have a cup of tea. With certain games, if I leave it for too long, I'm like, how the fuck does this play again? Especially something with like pretty like particular control set, like say something that you like, something that involves like you can't, like a hack and slash, but if you don't know the mechanics, you're just going to get destroyed. Like if you've forgotten how to parry and counter and stuff like that, then you're kind of like screwed. You need to sort of start the tutorial again, get back into it. Games like that, like it's a very like sort of specific sort of control scheme. You probably can't really leave that too long. But if it's something simple like I have a gun, shoot, you get that back eventually, like like the feel of it. But certain games you can't really do that. So yeah, dropping, I don't really do that as well. I've obviously started games again. I've done the whole Mass Effect trilogy on Twitch. I've done Dragon Age. I've once I've done the DLC, and that's that sort of BioWare sort of thing done. Have to find something else to play. Obviously, I'll probably stream Starfield on glorious Xbox at 30 frames per second. But I was thinking, should I do it on PC? I was like, oh man, like that'll probably put a strain. You got a pretty good setup, man. You've invested a lot of money into your PC. If you've not seen the picture on our Twitter of Raw's is custom sort of like color scheme on there, or very Evangelion. But yeah, that could easily play stuff. I've been hearing like Baldur's Gate 3 is sort of like not tanking PCs, but Act 3 is putting a lot of strain on PC consoles. I think
Act
like
3, apparently there's a massive save bug in Act 3. Loads of people are like people are losing like hours of progress.
yeah,
They had to like roll back a patch, I think.
heard that as well.
They put a new patch out and it was just literally crashing everyone's game and corrupting their saves.
Lovely stuff. A patch there's always a thing with patches, isn't it? Like they release a patch and then it ends up fucking breaking something else.
One of the things we're hearing about Starfield is it's the least buggy Bethesda game ever. So that's
what does that mean though, man? Like with a Bethesda game, you're always going to get some sort of bugs.
You're going to
be loads of bugs, or is it going to be like?
Of it. But yeah, I mean, they've had like a year to basically polish it, and people that have been playing it, like reviewers that have been playing it early, have been saying it's very polished and very stable.
One guy's got 15 hours under his belt and he hasn't come across a single bug yet, which is.
I mean, I'll admit the only bugs I've ever encountered in Bethesda games are like funny collision bugs, like the mammoths getting sent up into the air and stuff like that by the giants.
Yeah, I've had a few bugs on Skyrim. I've had like where you fight a skeleton dragon, you know, when it dies, it turns into a skeleton, then it sort of tethers to you and you're fucking like dragging it around with you. Or when you go out of the into a building, you come out and the skeleton sort of drops from the sky on top into the city. I've had that a few times.
So that's funny, quite
funny. Yeah, funny ones, but yeah, like a game like that sort of scope is going to be you're going to encounter some sort of like bug in there, but nothing like that breaks the game. Just sort of something that just happens.
I think the only quest bug I've had is I couldn't finish one like tiny side quest because I found a guy in a cave before his family asked me to find him, and then I couldn't go and then you're supposed to speak to his wife or something, and she asks you to find him, and that starts the quest. But if you find him first, you can't then start the quest. So it just remains like uncompletable forever. I'm pretty sure it's the only across like I played it on 4 platforms, I think. I started it on 360. I did like 300 hours on that, and then I played like 20 hours on PC. I played like 5 hours on PC VR, which is a completely separate version, which is weird and silly. And I played a little bit on Switch. I played a little bit on Xbox One when they put the special edition out. And I think that's the only like quest bug I've had across all of those versions. So I've probably been very lucky with it, but any of the bugs I've had have always been like funny collision things like that just like make you laugh.
I do like a good laugh.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things that kept Skyrim in people's minds, all the silly bugs and memes that people were putting on YouTube and Twitter and everything. But it sounds like Starfield is going to be very stable.
I mean, I'm looking forward to like they're fleshing out your companions. They're going to have their own stories and stuff. I always thought that was kind of like one of the weaker parts of like a Bethesda game. I know they tried to do it in Fallout 4. They flesh out the characters had more. They had their own sort of stories, but it was that one mission and that's it. You're done. And the romance option, stuff on Bethesda games were absolutely. I'm a romantic at heart. I do like a good romance in the game. That's why I love BioWare so much because they do good sort of romantic sort of stories, and everyone likes having a like a husbando or a waifu in game. But they said that they're your companions. I think there's like 10 you can recruit. That main characters that can come with you. They're going to flesh out their stories and their romance options. So I'm quite looking forward to it. I've got a feeling I know what the majority of the guys are going to romance. Is the what's the blonde girl's name? She's on the art cover on the box as well. She's one of the main. I can't remember her name. They mentioned her name, but yeah, they'll be
the leader of Constellation.
She can join your crew and you can romance her, which I'll probably be my option unless some like sexy alien comes along. But I've always been very bland with my romance options. I romanced Ash in
Very vanilla.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I just like I couldn't do it. I couldn't romance Tully.
Liara.
No, never Liara. Tally, because like you couldn't do it in the first one, and she's a kid in that as well, so it looked a bit weird. Second one you can do that, but I was like, nah, she's like a little sister sort of thing. Um, and Liara, I never really sort of. I mean, she can live for thousands of years, so like, it's like a short-lived sort of thing. She like can outlive you, so it's just like, yeah, you know. But with Ash, it was just like, yeah, you're there, and you know, you're a bit of a,
And there.
you're there, and
You're
you
convenient.
you got some views, but you know, she has a character arc, which I can, you know, in one, she does sort of come, sort of gets rid of her prejudices, and free as well. So it's good. But yeah, I think this is like we're just all really hyped for Starfield, man, and that's probably going to be a game that's going to consume our lives. Definitely for the first couple of months it's out. It's gonna.
Oh, I
It's
need to
gonna.
clear the decks for it.
Yeah, it'll be just be like, oh fuck me, like I've got all this to do, and you know, I've not even touched the main story yet, and I mean, I never really got into Fallout 4. Fallout 3 I liked. I played that a lot when I was in university on the 360. I had friends like you know, like a friend, like, was he a friend? I think he was a flatmate who'd come into my room. He'd start playing it, and I'd be like, oh, can I like have a go? If you want it, come buy yourself a fucking copy on PS3. But yeah, that was a good game. Probably their magnum opus was probably Fallout 3. Oh, Skyrim, what am I talking about? But yeah,
It's Skyrim for me. That game was special.
I think that was like that will go down in like the halls of like video games. Like it'll be, you know, the Hall of Famer. It's got a huge impact on the video game scene. It changed a lot, and yeah, I could it'd be up there in one of the best games ever. Even though some people in Recto really actually trying to bash it now for some fucking reason, but yeah. Oh well, I know the reason, but it's like with any game, you know, like that comes to Microsoft now exclusively, it's being bashed. So that's good.
Sounds like you've got a bit of a victim persecution complex there, Paul.
Well, it's not a complex when it's actually true, though, isn't it? So that's that. But yeah, man, like, should
Yeah, I think
we?
I think the takeaway is we're both going to be playing Starfield for a long time, and neither of us are ever going to finish the main story because then we'll stop playing it entirely.
Probably, yeah. And it looks like there's a lot to do there. You look at it, and I've only seen snippets and interviews and videos on it, and I'm just like, well, there's just a shit ton. They keep not adding, but revealing more stuff you can do there. I'm just like, oh, slow down, chaps. I mean, like,
We're going to lose hours to building a spaceship.
there's obviously more magic, space magic, because there's that clip in like in some of the trailers where you're lifting people up in stasis. Well, that's going to be revealed. That's going to be part. People saying there's no aliens in it. I think that's going to be part of the story as well. You know, you're going to encounter aliens if they're hostile. Who knows? Because you don't know who the main threat is, do you? Really? Because you're just an explorer at the moment. There's no like sort of like this is the enemy. In Mass Effect, you had the Reapers and the Geth. And here in Skyrim, it was the dragons are back. In Starfield, I'm not too sure. I know there's space pirates and stuff like that, but there's no like sort of like main antagonist.
They're pitching it at the moment as like go out and explore and like answer the humanity's pressing questions.
Are we alone?
And stuff. And obviously they show in the direct there's like a alien artifact. There's like an artifact that's clearly like of an advanced civilization, and it looks like it kind of opens up a wormhole or something. So I bet the end of the story will be like you piece the artifact back together and then you meet aliens and they're like, hi guys. we're actually good guys, and you're like, brilliant,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
we
And then
just
the
shoot
credits
them.
roll, and then I
Uh,
uninstall the game, so I'll never play it again.
yeah, I mean, they've definitely made it so it would be like Skyrim, where you just keep playing it for as long as possible. Who knows if they'll add DLC to it? Probably will. I mean,
Well, we know they are. That's part of the deluxe edition. You get the first expansion,
oh shit, yeah, that's true. Oh bollocks.
Shattered Space, I think.
Oh bollocks. Are you getting the deluxe edition?
I've I pre-ordered the Constellation edition with a stupid watch. That's how
See,
hyped I got.
you're so stupid.
I know.
But
And I
you
bought the
are.
headset, even though I had the normal headset.
Did you buy the controller?
Nah, I've got too many controllers. I've got a Design Labs controller and an Elite 2, so there's really no need for me to buy
I,
another controller.
I think I might dip in and buy the controller. I lack. I only got my the one vanilla controller. I was always into controllers. I got like a case, like drawers full of like controllers from previous consoles. But with the Xbox Series X, I've only got one, and
I
it's
had
just the
like a
vanilla
dozen
one.
on the 360. I literally had
Yeah,
like 12 controllers at one point. Halo
yeah,
controllers and Gears controllers and different colors, and a wired one that I used to use on PC. Loads of
mm,
them.
yeah. Well, anyway, mate, I think that's it. Like, what is there anything coming up on the channel? Not we're gonna get back to Halo Infinite. We will get back in there. It's cool. Put it on hiatus, and especially with Starfield coming out, will we? Hopefully, we'll be able to get a couple more videos out for everyone. But yeah,
That and obviously been going to events and stuff, which kind of limits the times we can actually record
yeah,
stuff.
we'll be attending EGX in Excel Centre, London. We'll be going to that. We got a friend who wants to go, so we're going to take him, show him right. He was the same guy who went to MCM when we did a little video on him. MCM again in October. I'll probably go to that. Both of those are in October, I think. Yeah, they are. And we're probably. I have ulterior motives. Roz knows that what I'm going to do. I booked a table at the anime restaurant. I say anime is probably more Naruto restaurant, but I booked that, and I do intend to make a video. Hopefully, the other two people who are going with us don't mind, but if they do, too bad.
Hopefully, the restaurant owners don't mind either.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine with that. Like, I don't see them being a problem with that. They didn't say anything on the thing. I won't be like with a camera. It's just be on my phone, innit? So
What is the place called again? We can shout it out.
it's called something dark side.
Uzumaki,
That's the one. Yeah, I just can't see
Uzumaki,
the.
London.
Yeah, they hadn't they were at MCM advertising their restaurant. So that's good. I was like expecting, we found a niche little restaurant here, guys,
Mhm.
and then it was at the biggest bloody comic convention in the UK. I was like, oh great, the secret's out. You got to
Yeah,
book a table, and you can only be there for like an hour and a half. So
yeah, it's like a big ramen place. Anime characters all over the walls, and the food is expensive. Well, the food and the drink is expensive. It looks like you get a lot for your money. It looks like a big bowl of ramen.
well,
But
it's more of an experience, really,
well,
just to
yeah, I mean
try it
that's the
out.
thing.
But
We'll check it out. It's not. We're not going to be going there every week, but it'd be good to check it out and see what it's like.
yeah, that's
We need a
in.
good ramen place in London.
That's a well. We do have some. It's just this is just a sort of like a not a niche
Themed
thing, but
one.
it's a themed thing, which all the sweaty otakus and shit are going to go there. Saying that, like before we wrap up, London Anime and Gaming Con, the personal hygiene there are spot on. I didn't smell any sort of smelly, nerdy otakus. MCM, it's been
Bad.
better, but it's still pretty bad. Come on, guys, it doesn't cost much just to wash and put some deodorant on. But yeah,
That's the thing. Loads of people stay at the hotels nearby. Your hotel room has a shower. Use it.
yeah,
You've paid for
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people at the MCM, London Anime and Gaming Con or LAGC, they stayed at the hotel as well. So yeah, they're using that. I don't know how they afford it. Looks like none of them can afford much, but yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we also probably there's an event in Brighton that we're looking at £8.50 to get in. That's an anime thing. It's probably going to be absolute poo,
Hmm.
but I think it'll be nice for a day out and somewhere different.
Brighton's great,
Um,
so even
yeah, I
if the
mean, if
con
it
sucks, we
comes
just go
Rob,
and drink in Brighton.
yeah, we'll have a few drinks. We were planning. I was looking to stay over, but the one night is just really expensive, so we'll just probably just get the train back to old Croydon with Paul,
Our
other
tails
Paul.
between our legs.
He'll be coming with us as well. And as soon as I mentioned we might stay there, he's like, "Oh, it's all right, lads. I'll just get the train back." Like, all right, see. Ya. I know he's married though, so I can't leave his missus alone for a day. But anyway, yes, well, we'll be. I can't remember the name of the place in Brighton. It's called Anime Expo or Con or
Let
something. I don't know.
me see if I can get
Some,
it up because you WhatsApped
some
it to me the other day, so I might be able to
yeah,
find it real quick.
it's fine. That because I did say to Ross that I'd kind of like to go to.
Oh, I better not show a WhatsApp channel, eh?
Yeah,
A WhatsApp channel. It's called Animanga Pop Brighton.
yeah. I mean, from the look of that alone, it's pretty good. £8.50 to get in, much cheaper than anything in London. Probably just
Hmm.
going to be like a room in a hotel,
One
a
room,
Holiday
yeah.
Inn. It'd probably be really poo, but we'll go there for a bit, do a little video, and then yeah,
Well, I mean,
to
they must have
enjoy.
held it before because it says Animanga Pop Brighton is back. So there must be videos online we can check out and see what it's like. Or if you've
Yeah,
been, let us know what it's like.
yeah. We do want to sort of branch out and go to different ones in UK first off. Who knows? Maybe and get invited to ones abroad. That'd be nice. But um, yeah, we do want to sort of go around, try different cons because much as I love the London ones, they're so familiar to us now. They're like a second home, aren't they? Really, we know them so well. It would be nice to go around the UK and try different ones. Maybe one up in Scotland, Wales, uh, anywhere else. Really, to be honest, probably be all the same, just different accents, isn't it? Really. So, but yeah, I think we'll leave it there, Ross. I think we sort of stretch this topic out as much as we can, and we're all done now. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can get us on any podcast platform, and yeah, thanks for being a wonderful co-host, Mr. Ross. Thank
Oh,
you.
anytime.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Dune.